I want to know. I want to know. As much as I'd love to jump into some roster editing or something, or save this until tomorrow, I have to know if the boys can get it done. The NHL and AHL teams have changed drastically. Let's recap. We made a shatload of trades. Rene Bourque for a pick. Brooks Laich, Matt Stajan, Marcel Gotch. We acquired Paul Bissonnette for Antti Mettinen. Yuri Hudler was traded. Carlo Koliakovo, Lukas Krajicek, Kyle Quincy, Curtis Foster, Braden Coburn, Keith Ballard for Lee Stempniak. After we acquired Hudler, we dealt him. We originally got him for Eric Brewer. We acquired Dan Boyle, a first, a second, and a third for JP Dumont and Tim Connolly. We acquired Brian Berard in a deal involving Mironov and Andy McDonald. We traded away all of our prospects. Like, we did a lot. And it's led us to having this team where I'm playing EA's system. This has got to work. Top line. Rick Nash, now at 21 years old, centered by Jason Spezza. And on the right, Danny Heatley. Sniper, playmaker, power forward. The second line, the X factor of this entire season, Louis Eriksson. Is he good enough to be in that second line role, or are we going to have to make a trade? He is with Henrik Zetterberg and Patrick Marleau. The third line, all two ways, Radek Dvorak, which I believe is like Dvorak technically, but Radek Dvorak with Radek Bonk and Radim Verbata. How rad. And the fourth line, grit grinder, Darren McCarty, Keith Jones, and Paul Bissonnette. We are playing Paul Bissonnette as our enforcer, because why the hell not? You saw what he did to Bowie. That's the influence that we need. The defense. Two-way defenseman Brian Campbell and Zdeno Chara, our captain. The second pair, the reigning Norris winner, and OFD Brian Berard with Kyle McLaren. And Dan Boyle is with Rusty Klesla. So again, OFD, DFD, two-way, for the sake of the special teams and balance. The goaltender, the rookie, 20-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury. And then Jesper Tarnstrom is behind him. Healthy scratches of Jonathan Girard, Nick Hagman, and Alex Auld. The AHL team has changed even more, as again we have gone from the home of prospects and youth and development to a fucking retirement home with a lot of grit. But we do still have Mike Richards in the system and Ron Stillman, a low elite. So not too much left in terms of prospects. Defensively, the couple low elites, McCann and Mayer. Brent Seabrook is still here. We kept the guys who either didn't have much trade value or who could potentially still make this team in the future. Otherwise, we just kind of moved out a lot of people that we really didn't need. That said, both rosters are still set up for success this season. I don't think there's any denying that. Our ratings might not be as crazy as they were. We can actually get a look at them right here. But in terms of team makeup, and it should fit EA's system a bit more. 91, 90, and an 84, and that's with our backup goalie in. So indeed, our offense is worse, but our defense is better. Like I said, more well-rounded. We'll hope that it works. Chris, good morning to you. How are you? Happy New Year. Let's hope the boys can do well. And actually, because the morale system isn't on, our leadership, Captain Zdeno, we turned him to 33. He went back to number 3, so whatever. We are going to have Radek Bonk with a letter. And Darren McCarty. Let's get some veteran leadership in there. The young guys haven't proven shit yet. We need some veteran leadership amongst this group as we get a couple of goalie coaches at the very end. What is a sleep schedule for Christmas time? That is completely fair. I flipped my schedule back and forth from day-based, night-based about 3 times in 6 days. So, it's a very rough end of the year for me in that regard. That said, we struggled all season long last year to make the playoffs. It was brutal. We made the playoffs, won game 1 against the Florida Panthers, and then lost the next 4, including the decisive game 5 in overtime. Brent Seabrook has been injured with an injured leg. Happens to the best of us. He is back, though. And again, our AHL team, despite a really strong season, also lost in the first round of the playoffs. Where the hell is Seabrook? I guess we have too many dudes for the quick swap. Fair enough. Oh, there you go, Brent. Chris, it is. It is based on Snipe's 1999-2000 Ultimate database that is out on Xbox Series consoles. So Chicago's doing well. NHL team, not so much. Under 500 at the moment. We have an A+ head coach, for the record. 8-8 tie against Buffalo. Draft classes go 4 years. That's the maximum that you can go, unfortunately. So up to the 2003 draft. Let's get Brett Hall back in there, aged 41. I want to get to the end of the season, end of this month here, December 1st. And Boyle's going to be out for over a month with a concussion. 11, 10, and 3. Radim Verbata is our leading scorer. Season ends today, would be on the outside looking in by 2 points behind the Rangers. How the hell is Radim Verbata our leading scorer? 20 points for Nash. Just 16 for Spezza. Just 15 with 5 goals for Heatley. Eriksson has just 6 points. 11 for Zetterberg. 17 for Marlowe. Jesus Christ. I'm going to swap Heatley with Eriksson. At least for the moment. I don't even know what to say about this team's struggles. At least for Bada, Bonk, and Dvorak have been good. Fuck it, we'll have them start every period. At least they actually try. And the fourth line, they're actually all positive players so far. Of course they are. 16 points for Campbell, 14 for Chara, 5 for McLaren, 16 for Berard. Sounds about right. And of course we know Dan Boyle got hurt. Roberto Luongo, Marc-Andre Fleury, Henrik Lundqvist, and nobody can make a fucking save. This is unbelievable. And because he was just asked about, here are the players that are in the league over the age of 40. It includes 45-year-old Mark Messier, playing for the Dallas Stars. You got John McLean, who's with our Chicago Wolves. Doug Gilmour at 42. Brett Hull at 41. Ray Ferraro at 41. And Steve Yzerman at 40, also with Edmonton. I cannot believe that this team is as mid as they are right now. It is unbelievable. It is like, it's not as crazy of a team as last year, but what the fuck? Boys, please. Colby Armstrong's back. We'll get Gino out of there. Tired but can't sleep. Yeah, it's a great time, isn't it? I hate the frickin' results glitching out. Not a great start to this month for us. Starting goaltender in the AHL, Kirill Kapitanov, went down to injury. He is healthy. I cannot believe this team is so mid. I cannot believe it. Sorry to Norm Postma, but you're out of here, buddy. Tarmstrom has been an awful backup. Come on down, Alex Auld. Here's your chance. Why is your team allergic to wins? I don't know. We have a great coaching staff. I have the coach with the best scheme fit out of our entire coaching staff, who also coincidentally is an A-plus coach on that line. And it just does not seem to matter. We'll roll with Nick Hagman on the top line with Spezza, whatever. Doesn't matter too much. 17-14, 4-1. Radek Dvorak, our leading scorer. The Eastern Conference season ends today. We'd missed the playoffs by 1 point, although we do have a better point percentage than the Sabres. So we are once again in the mix for the lower seeds. This is insane. Fleury has an 890. Auld has yet to play. Defense hasn't been brutal. Fourth line started getting roughed up a little bit more. Third line's easily been our best. 10 points in 36 games for Louis. He's not ready for prime time. We need a different top six sniper that's not Louis Eriksson. Just isn't ready. So the big question is whether or not there's anybody out there already, or if I'm going to have to overpay to get somebody to fill that role. Nikolitin, playmaker. Brian Smolinski, playmaker. Sergei Fedorov is a two-way at this point. Andy Brunette, sniper. All right, well, Andy Brunette on Colorado might be our best option. Chris Simon is a power forward. Adam Deadmarsh is a power forward, so he doesn't fit. Otherwise, I would have gone with him. Looks like Brunette's our guy. He is. We need Andy Brunette. We need him badly. Louis just can't get it done yet. Question is, can we get this trade done without using Louis? Mike Richards could potentially be a future third liner for us, that kind of middle six role, so I don't want to get rid of him. Same for Seabrook. There's Stillman. Lee Stempniak. I mean, there's not much value there, but neither of those two goalies we signed for this year are really that good. We do have Atlanta's first round pick as well, thanks to that deal that brought in Dan Boyle. What about our own second round pick and Lee Stempniak for Andy Brunette? If we had Montreal's third and another third from Atlanta. Jesus Christ, really? It's a good thing we acquired all these picks. A second and 3/3, along with Lee Stempniak, for Andrew Brunette. That goes through. So we did have to pay quite a bit. Eriksson will go down to the AHL. And I feel like it sent somebody down that it wasn't supposed to. In fairness, I'm going to swap Tarnstrom with Kapitanov. Tarnstrom cleared waivers. Or do we have an injury? We have an injury. It's Rick Nash. That's right. Okay. That makes sense then. So Andy Brunette will be playing alongside Jason Spezza. And hopefully that works out well. I mean, having Brunette and Heatley as our top 2 snipers, I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, unless I absolutely have to get Pavel Bure, that should be okay. And then we'll get Louis Eriksson in. Swap him with Brett Hull. And then goalies, let's get Tarnstrom in there. We'll take out Alex Auld for Capitan off here. Okay, well, Louis Eriksson couldn't cut it at the NHL level this year. We've made an adjustment. Cost us some draft picks, but not bad. And hopefully Andy Brunette can lead us to some extra wins throughout January. It's not very promising that we're having to adapt like this, much like we did last year when it resulted in a first-round exit. So, I'm a little bit afraid. Brian Berard, strained hamstring. He'll be out for about a week. So we start to get hit by the injury bug. Corey McCann. Get you back in there. One of those low elite defensemen that we're trying to develop. Beat the Bruins. Jonathan Girard gets injured. We have suffered a lot of injuries lately. So yeah, Berard's healthy. Boyle's good. Honestly, that's all fine. Warrior, that was from Buck. That was the first message of the night. He thought he was going to be able to say first, and he was wrong. How was Brunette done? No goals in 7 games. We'll put Heatley back up on that top line. It'll be Nash, Spezza, Heatley, Brunette, Zetterberg, Marlowe. For the love of God, can we start winning games? This team is too good to not be able to do anything. Brian Campbell goes down injured. We are winning more games now. So the Andy Brunette acquisition seemed to have been a good one. We had Hagman playing defense, for fuck's sake. I love Biz. Hey, Paul Bissonnette, first career NHL goal. Yeah, you can argue having Bissonnette in there for the penalties isn't helping us, but damn it, we need an enforcer. 25, 19, 4-1. That is our best month of the season. Dvorak still leading the team in points with 48 and 49 games, which is horrifying that he's leading this team in scoring. But we are currently 7th in the Eastern Conference, 5 points above Atlanta, with the same amount of games played. So at the moment, we're looking okay. Let's take a look at the scoring totals here, both for our team and around the league, as it is Dvorak and Bonk as our top 2 scorers. Brunette has just 5. You're a fucking sniper with 91 accuracy and silver 1T and make it snappy. Andrew. Andy, no goals in 14 games. I hate it here so much. What the fuck? All right, Valim, we're going to fire you for the moment. Is Piero Zabedel still the best coach I can have? 63% fit. How good's Persaud? How good is Persaud? 58. Combs. 61. What about Kadri? 63. Young. 63. Schwarz. 62. One of these 3 is getting a chance as head coach. I know we just had a better month, but something's gotta give. Better. Yeah, no, it's gonna be Kadri. Kadri, congratulations. You are the new head coach. We'll make Piero Zabedel the head coach in the AHL. Kadri, for the love of God, get something going for this team. Please. Figure out how to spark Andy Brunette's game. Something. anything. It's February. We have a month until the deadline, which means now is the time to figure shit out. We just lost 2 games in a row, so now I'm going to look like an asshole for changing the coach, although then we start winning games. We are just so inconsistent. It's take a penny, leave a penny. It's insane. March 1st, with a record of 31-25, 4-1, we are 3rd in the Atlantic. In terms of the playoff structure, we are currently 7th in the Eastern Conference. Just 2 points above the Panthers, although we do have 2 games at hand. If we make the playoffs, it's going to be barely, and that's insane. Let's look at the goaltenders. Fleury has been tragic. Kapitanov hasn't been great behind him. We need a goalie, if we can find one. Defensively, I'm fairly happy. Not too much we can do to change it. I'd have to completely change out the third pairing, and it's fine. It'll be fine. Offensively, now 42 points for Rick Nash. Spezza, and then Heatley on 46. Brunette has 1 goal in 25 games. He has 14 points, but we didn't bring him in to be a playmaker. That said, both Marleau and Zetterberg each have 20 goals. What the fuck? Then Verbata, Bonk, and Dvorak have been awesome. Fourth line gets a little bit roughed up here and there, but that's okay. It's a fourth line. So the big question is there any way to improve this team? We need a backup goalie at this deadline. And potentially someone to replace Andy Brunette. Like, it's good that the other guys are scoring, but, like, they're not supposed to be the ones. Le Cavalier is available as a power forward. He'd have to replace either Nash or Marleau. There's really no point in doing that. Ed Jovanovski, not really good enough. Derek Morris is a 2-way. Deadmarsh, Mark Streit. None of the top players that are available right now are ones that fit the bill for what we need. Could bring back Kevin Weeks as a goalie after all this time, unless he just got traded immediately. He did not. It's a deal involving Marek Shidlichky. Kiprasov's out there. Ryder, Alex Mogilny, he's not what he used to be, but he might be our best bet. There's a lot of goalies out there. If we don't stick with Brunette, we're looking at Alex Mogilny, which is insane. They'd want a 3rd-round pick for him. Do they have a better backup goalie that we can acquire? Tommy Salo, Stefan Fisette, who have both sucked this year. I mean, at least acquiring Mogilny to be a healthy scratch might not be the worst option. He does have 10 goals this year. He has totally lost his ability to skate, though. At 37, he can't skate. Fuck. Top goalie available is Kevin Weeks or Brian Boucher. I'm going to have to do some research here. Let's see what we can find. It's just for what we're looking for. I'm going to look at skaters first really quickly. But for what we're looking for, a player who doesn't cost, people say an arm and a leg. I mean, in this instance, it's the entire goddamn body. Sell yourself for science. Again, the Cavalier would be great, but we already have Marleau. Jovanovski doesn't fit better than Campbell does. Kovalenko was also a sniper. His shot's a bit worse, but he's a better skater than Mogilny. Again, we don't have to trade for people. We don't have to trade for people that are on the block. It's just easier. Derek Bogard from Atlanta would be pretty fun. Can we get the boogeyman? It was on Atlanta, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Can we land the boogeyman? Let's move him for Gino. I don't think that'll go through 1-for-1. It did not. I'm willing to give up a draft pick, though, to get Derek Bogard. What about like a 5th round pick? There you go, Derek Bogard, welcome in. That's how you win a deadline right there. Bring in Derek Bogard. Boston, nobody. Smolinski, we know he doesn't fit the team. Shantz, my favorite leg wear. Sean Hill doesn't work. A younger Chris Kunitz. Anson Carter doesn't fit for what we're looking to do. And he was just traded anyway for Mika Kiprasov. Again, Mogilny just has no speed anymore whatsoever. Sholtak, Michael Ryder, power forward, not a sniper. All right. Skater-wise, we are what we are. There's just nothing we can do. Kevin Weeks has had a good season, but he's been in the AHL apparently. So, I mean, we could go for Kevin Weeks. Completely unproven at the NHL level this year. Mike Dunham hasn't been very good. Toskala hasn't been very good. Jesus, apparently over a 900 save percentage might be decent. Christ, Fleury might not actually be that bad. Popvin's got a 905, but he's currently hurt. We don't know for how long. Czechmanek at a 902. I didn't change the scoring settings at all, but goaltending performances seem to be way, way down here. Craig Anderson. Huey was at a 916 in the AHL. I mean, taking the risk on Kevin Weeks might be our best bet. I mean, Lamp, best day so far. Trevor Kidd has a 926 on the Panthers. That's the guy. A 926 on the Florida Panthers as a division, or at least playoff rival. We'll send them Tarmstrom and Kapitanov, neither of whom have really worked out. We'll take back J.S. O'Ban or Pasi Nurminen in the deal. Nurminen's been decent in the AHL so far. Let's go for him. So Tarnstrom and Kapitanov, two dudes who just haven't worked. For Trevor Kidd, Pasi Nurminen, and what a third's going to be way too much. What about like a 5th round pick? It looks like it'll have to be a 6th. There we go. So Trevor Kidd has been brought in to be my hero, basically. That's what we're dealing with at this stage. That is the situation that we're in. Smolinski was ultimately traded to Colorado. Gino Ojic, who we traded away, is on waivers, so we'll get him. We basically got Derek Bogard for very, very little. But let's see here then. Yeah, so it fucked up our lines again, which doesn't surprise me. As long as it didn't make me lose anybody on waivers. So Fleury, we'll send Ald down for Trevor Kidd. Ald cleared waivers, just to be expected. Defense, we need to call up nobody. Forwards, it sent Biz down. How's Hagman done in relief? Not too great. Let's send Hagman down. Call up Bissonnette. Hagman cleared waivers. That way Bissonnette and Bogard can both be on the team. I don't know if I want Biz to be the healthy scratch or Bogard. But we'll go best lines again. It prefers Brunette over Heatley. So, again, reunite that third line. Bogard, Jones, and McCarty works for me. Dvorak on the right. Again, this is still such a well-constructed team, man. It's driving me insane that we're not better than what we are. We'll go Nash, Spezza, Brunette, Heatley, Zetterberg, Marlowe. The fact that playoffs aren't guaranteed is insanity to me. Absolute insanity. You know what? We can do that. We can go Berard, Klesla, and then McLaren with Boyle. Char and Campbell stays the same. Goalie-wise, Fleury and Trevor Kidd. Dude, it's got to go well for us. It's got to. We'll go best lines in the AHL. I'm not too worried about potential anymore. Now it's just making sure that the right dudes are at least playing. Not too worried about Strachan. Not worried about Brad May. Not worried about Jacobson. Not really worried about Keane. We are worried about Stillman. So sorry to Louis DeBrusque. You got to take a seat. We better make the playoffs. We better. I can't believe both the prior season and this one we have struggled in the regular season. 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6 post-deadline. 7, 8. Oh my God, we're cruising. Another red-hot March. Looks like it's going to save us. 43, 29, 4-1. We haven't clinched yet. We're still alive for a division title, potentially. We have Dallas on April 2nd. That's a 7-1 win, and the Islanders are in the playoffs. Why? Why did we have to be so stressed out all season long? Finally, they show up. Shout out to 2 goals on the year for Paul Bissonnette, by the way. Christ, how, like... Klesla with a hamstring tear. He's going to miss the start of the playoffs. We beat Nashville. We beat Detroit. We're closing in on a division title here. 1 win gets us our first division title. We lose to Anaheim, but we clean out anyway. We get the division title. Where the hell was this team all season, man? We did so well for so long. We'll go Boyle and Girard on that third pairing. We are playoff bound. It wasn't pretty, but we have a division title secured as we go back to the playoffs for what, the 3rd year in a row? 4th year in a row, I think. 96 points to win that division title. In the Eastern Conference, we will be the 3rd seed, if I'm not mistaken. Atlantic is us. Northeast is Toronto. Carolina is Southeast. So indeed, we are the 3 seed. It's gonna be New Jersey. All of that just to get pooped on by Brodeur again? I just